Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Chairs, you can sit there, the table and chairs you can use. They join.
I'm joining her with all. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay, so we'll wait for a couple of minutes. Everyone can join.
Okay.
Okay, so before we start, I would like to ask you a couple of questions. Do you know about the International Space Station? You can
Yes.
unmute.
पास करो और अनम्यूट करके then you can see.
We are on mute right now.
What do you know about the ISS? Can anyone tell me? The International Space Station.
Good morning, sir. I'm from St. Thomas School. The International Space Station is the place where the astronauts come and stay, where they have to go for some time so that they can arrange the rockets and the space vehicles that can take them.
Okay, very good. And does anyone of you know how high the International Space Station is from the Earth, or where is it located?
400 kilometers, I think so.
Yes, very good. It's around 420 kilometers. Okay, and what do you know about the Celluride EarthkAM project? Has anyone of you ever heard of it before?
No, sir.
Not much, sir.
Okay, not much, but somewhat, or not at all.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So I think we'll start in 2 more minutes, and So all of you are in which standard? You are all in 6th?
So we are from 9th standard.
Okay, okay.
So sixth.
Okay, so we have a range of students, no problem.
8th grade.
They're from
8th, okay, great.
9th.
9th, okay. So the lowest so far is 6th. Is there anyone who's younger than the 6th? Okay. So 6th to 9th is the bracket so far?
No, sir.
Sorry,
We are
can you
in
please?
10th.
10th, okay. Chalo, bade bache bhi aaye, that's great.
I am in 11th.
11th, okay, wonderful.
Internet connection is unstable.
Okay, so if anyone is having internet, you can turn off your videos and you can keep the audio on. And while I am sharing the screen and taking you through the process, what you can do is you can type your questions in the chat box, and we'll have a good 15 to 20 minutes of bracket where we can discuss your questions. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so during the presentation and while you're going through the process, there will be a lot of questions, and people and students specifically don't remember by the time we reach at the end. Question yaad tha, fir bhool gaye. So because of that, if you have a question, you just type in the chat box instantly. And after the presentation, we'll go through the questions one by one. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so I think it's time to start and almost everyone is here. So I'll share my screen. I hope you all are able to see my screen. Can anyone tell me, please?
No, sir.
You're not able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we can't see it.
It's not visible yet.
Okay, just a moment.
Sir, it's visible.
It's visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Jinx. Jinx.
Okay, so are we able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
wonderful.
sir.
So welcome to this very interesting project, which is organized by NASA, and it is brought to you by Space India, where what will we be learning today is the question. So how many of you, I've asked this question before, but I'll ask again for the new joinees. How many of you do you know about the Sally ride EarthkAM? Like, have you heard the name before? What is it?
No idea, sir.
No idea? Okay, so no problem. So today we all are going to learn about what Saliride is, what this entire project is, and what NASA conducts and why does it conduct it. Okay? So Saliride EarthkAM is basically the outreach program in which it is an opportunity for the school students to get a view of Earth from the space. What I mean by that is it was originated or established by Dr. Sally Ride, hence the name Sally Ride EarthkAM. Now, who was Sally Ride? She was the youngest and the first American female astronaut. Okay, so this is a very important fact which everyone must know, that Dr. Sally Ride was the first American female astronaut, and she went to space in 1983 when I think she was around 27 years old. And she co-founded the Sally Ride Science. And why was it established? Why was this program established? It was established to ignite the students' enthusiasm in science. That is, when she went to space herself as an astronaut, it was a very fascinating experience for her, that how the Earth actually looked from outside of space. I'm sure a lot of you must have thought about it, right? To be able to go outside of Earth and see how the Earth would look like. So that was the exact experience and motivation that Dr. Sally Ride had when she first went to the space and saw Earth from there. And she realized that why should astronauts only have the fun? Why shouldn't a general person on Earth get to see what we are able to see? And that is why she started this program, which was called the EarthkAM, and it was originated in 1995. Now, what exactly is this project? It is basically a person sitting on Earth can request the International Space Station and NASA to capture an image of any location on Earth, any location which you want to see, that, okay, how this place would look like from space. So what you can do is you can request NASA and ISS to capture the picture of that place or that location from space, from the International Space Station. And that's the entire program of EarthkAM is. Now, what actually happens is that, what are we able to do with that image? Now, to capture that image, what we have to do? So basically, we have the control center of EarthkAM, which is the International Space Station. So we have a camera. So the scientists and astronauts of NASA, they have placed a digital camera, which they have placed at the International Space Station. And when we request that, okay, we want to see a picture of this location on Earth from space, what happens is that when ISS is floating through that location in the space, it points that camera towards that place and it captures the images. It sends back to the NASA, and that's how you are able to see the image of that location from space. So now let's study or learn about the International Space Station a bit. I'm sure a lot of you must have heard about the International Space Station. And when we think of ISS, first thing comes to our mind is that, okay, it must be a NASA project, but it is not exactly true. So International Space Station is an initiative of 16 countries. It is a collaboration. It is a collaborative project of 16 countries and their space organizations. And India is not one of them. India is planning to build its own space station, and hopefully we'll be able to launch it very soon. Right? Now, the International Space Station is revolving around the Earth, just like Moon is revolving around the Earth. Earth is orbiting around the Sun. Similarly, the ISS is continuously revolving around the Earth. Now, the orbital speed, by the speed at which the ISS is orbiting the Earth, is around 7.66 kilometers per second. Now, it is kilometers per second, not kilometers per hour. Okay, so you have to be careful about it. Now, to get an idea of this speed is basically what happens is that with this speed, the ISS is able to cover the entire revolution, one revolution around the Earth in about 92 minutes. So in about 1.5 hours, the ISS is able to complete one orbit around the Earth. So what that means is that ISS is able to complete almost 16 orbits per day around the Earth. And a very fascinating fact about this is that this 16 orbits per day means the person or an astronaut sitting at the ISS will be able to see the sunset and the sunrise 16 times in one day. Now, we as humans sitting on Earth, we are able to witness the sunrise and sunset just once, right? Similarly, if a person sitting in the ISS, he or she will be able to experience that sunrise and sunset 16 times a day. Now, take a moment and imagine what would it look like to see the sunrise and the sunset 16 times in one day after every interval of around 1.5 hours. Won't it be fascinating and interesting? Okay, so now what about the International Space Station in the sky? So let's say if ISS is revolving around the Earth, how are we able to see or detect? Like, are we able to see or detect ISS in the first place? Is that the question, right? So a fascinating part about is that ISS is the third brightest object in the night sky. A third brightest object. Can anyone tell me what is the first brightest object in the sky? You can, yeah, you can unmute moon.
Night world class.
Stars.
Moon and stars. No, the first brightest object in the sky.
Sun.
Sun. Sun. Yes, very good. I didn't ask night sky specifically. I just asked the sky. So that would be sun. And can anyone tell me what is the second brightest object?
Moon.
Moon. Very good. Very good. So the first brightest object is the sun, and the second brightest is the moon. And then third brightest object is the ISS. And if you are using any app such as Stellarium and you can point it to the sky, you'll be able to see that, okay, it is at this point and you can visibly see it with the naked eye. There are times when Venus is the third brightest object in the night sky, and there are specific times around its elongation, and during those times Venus is more brighter than the International Space Station. But generally ISS is the third brightest object. Venus has like a few days during which it is more brighter than the ISS, but generally ISS would be more brighter than the Venus, and it makes it the third brightest object in the night sky. Now, when ISS was established, and it was established in 1988, a lot of money. Okay, so there's a question that is ISS an artificial satellite as it revolves around the Earth? Yes, definitely. Earth has only one natural satellite, which is our moon, and our moon is called Luna. That's its name. So Earth has only one natural satellite. All the other satellites that are revolving around the Earth are artificial satellites. Now, when ISS was being built and when scientists were trying to put it in the orbit, more than $100 billion was spent. And ISS was taken to space in 1998. So you can imagine that during the 90s, a lot of money was spent, around $100 billion. Now, if you want to do the conversion, you can actually come up with a number that if try to build the same ISS in today's time with today's money, how much amount would it like total to? So that would come out to be easily around trillions of dollars. So that is such a complex. So that's what basically tells you about the complexity of the International Space Station and the huge collaboration that so many countries came together and spent $100 billion to make it. Now, why was there a need to build ISS in the first place, right? Why is there an ISS? So basically, the main purpose of building ISS was to have a laboratory, a scientific laboratory to function in space, because scientists are always engaged in experiments that they are doing on Earth. So someone had an idea that, okay, what about if I go outside of Earth, beyond the effect of Earth's gravity and Earth's environment? What if I'm able to create a laboratory and do the same and some other experiments in that environment? Will the result be different or the same? So that was the sole purpose of building the ISS in the first place, that people wanted to create a different environment than the Earth where they can go and conduct a lot of experiments. So you see, ISS is like a space laboratory where scientists go and astronauts go and they conduct experiments. Now, what experiments are those? They are stretched over all field of sciences such as biology, physics, astronomy, meteorology, and many more. So can anyone tell me what meteorology is?
Information about weather.
Study of meteors.
Yes. Not meteors, no. Meteorology is basically the study of the weather and the atmosphere. The weather, the climate, and the atmosphere. So that's what meteorology is. Okay. And I'll give you an example. So we all know about Dr. Rakesh Sharma. Do we all know about him? No. Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can anyone tell me who was him?
He was
What's the
to go in space.
he was the first astronaut?
The first Indian astronaut to go to space.
Indian
Yes.
astronaut.
He
Yes.
was the first Indian astronaut to go in space.
Yes. Where now has any thought go to space, of what research did he do when he went to space? Has anyone about it? Or anyone would like to take a guess about it?
Spacewalk.
Reason why Rakesh Sharma went to space was he wanted to conduct an experiment. He wanted to conduct a research about how the human body and human biology works in space without the effect of gravity, or like where gravity is almost negligible. So how the human body would act. So basically he wanted to see how a person, if he would go to space and he conducts yoga, what would be the effect of space rather than on Earth. So that is why he went to the space and wanted to study the effects of this experiment. Now, what exactly is EarthkAM? So EarthkAM basically stands for Earth Knowledge Acquired by Middle School Students. So this EarthkAM program was initiated by Dr. Sally Ride and NASA, where they opened this bracket of the requesting ISS to capture images of the Earth 4 times a year. So this workshop is being conducted so that we give the students of the middle school and even high school as well, and even adults and teachers as well, who want to see what this what this project basically means, is to give the opportunity to students and everyone alike on Earth to see how the Earth actually looks from space. So that is why this program was established and initiated, and this happens 4 times a year for almost one for almost every season. So this bracket, this window is for the 13th to 16th February. So that is why it is better for you to request the images as soon as possible. Because if you wait that, okay, let's wait till 16th Feb and then I'll put my request, that will not be good for you, because then the orbit of the ISS will reduce. The time, the deadline that we are going to follow will basically reduce. I'll explain to you that in a little while, what that actually is. So EarthkAM basically is an educational outreach program. It is sponsored by NASA, initiated by NASA, and it is brought to you kids by SpaceIndia. Right? Now, what actually is the sole reason for this program is basically for you to allow and take the pictures of Earth and how it would look from space, from the International Space Station, because our camera is placed at the ISS. Now, who makes it work? Okay, we just got to know that NASA is the one which has established it, but NASA alone is not the sole contributor of this project. So it has tie-ups with the University of Alabama, which deals or handles the entire web page, the website of this program. And we have the US Space and Rocket Center, which is the Missions Operations Center of the NASA. So the request that we are going to make that, okay, I want the ISS to capture this image of this object. So this request will be sent to US Space and Rocket Center. And then from this center, the request will be sent to the ISS. Then ISS will capture the image. It will come back to Space and Rocket Center, and then it will be uploaded on the website. So this is how we are going to work with NASA and ISS. And it is also associated with the Teledyne Brown Engineering, which actually helps in the engineering process of the entire process. And this is the team which is at the US Space and Rocket Center, which receives a request and sends it further to the ISS. Okay. Now this is a small video And in this video, the astronaut that is at the ISS will show you what actually is happening and how we are going to see the camera and how it is going to observe it, capture the image. Are you able to hear the audio of the video?
Hi, I'm Tom Marshburn, an astronaut aboard the International
Can
Space
anyone
Station
please
as a
tell me
crew
that
member
are you able
Yes,
to
sir,
hear
I
the
can hear.
video?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
of Expedition 35. There have been over 1 million pictures taken from the space station of the Earth. There's plenty of opportunities to see it. Some of those pictures have been taken by middle school students from all around the world. So let me show you how we do this. It's through the ISS EarthkAM program, and I'm going to show you how we set up the camera for students to take pictures of the Earth from the space station. We're going to head down to Node 2 Nadir. So here we are, the Nadir part of the Node 2 module on board the space station. All I have here is a digital camera, just a regular digital camera, much like many people use on Earth. Got a couple of brackets, and all we do is attach to a handrail here. Have the camera facing out the window. And then the next step will be to attach a special cable to the camera and then to a laptop. Students from around the world are able to uplink the coordinates of the spots on the Earth that they want a picture of. They beam it up to the space station, goes to the laptop, into the camera, and the camera automatically takes those pictures of the right place on the Earth at just the right time. There are plenty of opportunities to take pictures of the Earth with the ISS EarthkAM. Over 10,000 students have joined us from 21 countries just in this last mission. So I hope you take an opportunity to take pictures of the Earth with the ISS EarthkAM. Thank you for joining us on board the International Space Station.
Okay, so this video was taken in 2013, and by that time around 40,000 students had joined. Now it has been a decade since this program has been running, and 4 times a year. So you can imagine how much more students have participated in it across so many countries around the world. And this program is still going very strong. And one thing to notice is that in this image that you are seeing on the screen right now, the window that is there, it also acts as a lens. So we are basically using, so scientists, the astronauts at the ISS are basically using the normal DSLR that we use here. So they have a lens of the camera itself, but also the window itself acts as a lens. So that actually helps to enhance the image a lot more and actually help us capture really good details of the location that we are pointing our camera at. Yeah. So how are we going to do that? So I'll give you a tutorial about it. I'll make you follow the steps and you have to be very attentive how we are going to follow the steps, and you have to note down each and every detail that you are going to put into the information box. So I hope that you all have received your codes. Can anyone unmute themselves and tell me that have you received the codes that you are using, that you will be using?
No, sir.
Okay, so if you have not received it yet, you will by your schools. Okay, so what you have to understand is that when you are putting a request for image, there is a unique code. So one code can only be used for one image request. Let's say each student will be given 2 codes. So you will have the opportunity to request 2 different images, and one code will be used for one image only. You cannot use one code for all the images. Okay, so each image has a unique code associated with it. Now, before going into the tutorial, I would like to tell you that why are we using this project, or what are the uses of this project? Why are we capturing the images from the ISS? Is it just for the sake of image capturing, or can we do a lot more than that? Okay, so it has a lot of uses. I'll tell you a few, such as in earth sciences, when you capture an image, you can actually study about land formations, plate tectonics, and weather. Because when you capture the geographical aspects of a location, it can actually help you understand how the geography evolved throughout the years. So that is one application. Another one is that it has a lot of benefits for environmental sciences, such as you can actually study about climate change, the human effect on that specific location, and also you can understand if that location was actually hit by any natural disaster or not. So that is one application. Another one is space sciences, that okay, NASA and ISS are involved in this for a long time, and they have been capturing images since the initiation of the ISS. It actually helps you to study about gravity and low Earth orbits as well. It becomes a little more technical that you have to get into this field, but it has applications in space sciences as well. Another application is geography, as I was saying. It can actually help you study and even improve the latitude and longitude of locations and maps, because when you are using Google Maps, you are not getting highly accurate locations. Because let's say if we are using Zomato and if we are putting a location, let's say if we're using an Uber and you are putting your location, and even then you are the app is not able to detect the exact location, right? We all face such kind of problems on daily basis. So this program can actually help us improve our understanding of latitude and longitude, and it can incorporate in the entire framework or network of latitude and longitude studies and studies of maps itself. So it can help us improve those aspects as well. Another example is mathematics. So mathematics is everywhere basically. While we are using these images, while we are capturing these images, it can actually help us understand the factor or the topic of scale, image scale, because the location that I'm actually capturing or asking ISS to capture is basically hundreds of kilometers. But in our image, it will be only a few centimeters to inches, right? So that can actually help you understand how we scale images and how we can actually resolve image in a magnified manner. Another is the technology aspect of it, that okay, using this we are actually understanding what web interface is, data transmission to and from Earth to ISS. Because let's say we are using our phones and internet on daily basis, right? So how is that internet able to convey or work without any electronic devices? So that's all because of satellites. So this example is uh, further justified when we use this program, because we are directly requesting NASA and directly requesting ISS to frame or capture an image of Earth from space and bring it to you while you are at home. So this entire network, this entire process is what? Basically, it is data transmission, and this is happening wireless through satellites. So this is something that we can also learn from this project. Okay, and the other is language and arts. So it's not just technology and science and mathematics that we are learning, but we are also learning the human and social sciences aspects of humanity from this project. Because imagine that you are seeing a part of the Earth from space. Imagine what emotions it will invoke, what emotions it will bring out of you. And when you are seeing a beautiful landscape from space of Earth, it could inspire a lot of artists, right? It can inspire a lot of people who are into literature to write something about it. And this further helps people in science to get into research, because you never know, an idea can be originated from anywhere, anytime, right? And when we go to the website, I'll show you in a while. What you can do is there's, as you can see on the screen, there's a section called the images, where you can go and see the images captured by the students till now. So this project has been going on for more than 3 decades now. And ever since, all the images that have been captured by middle school and high school students, they have been archived in this images section. And here you can see the visit the gallery option, and then you have all the other sub options here. So you have all the liberty to go and explore all these options, and you will be able to see how students have captured different images, what kind of descriptions they've given about it, and you all will be doing the same today. Now here are a few examples. Now here you can see a student asked for the coordinates, that okay, I want the picture of these coordinates, and he requested ISS to capture the image. Now you can see this is not an edited image, this is actual image captured by the ISS. Now you can imagine how high definition and high quality image ISS is capable of generating, even from like 400 kilometers from the Earth, right? So these kind of beautiful images are there. This is another picture of the landscape which was requested by a school student, and these students were a part of space program itself. So the program that we are conducting today, we have been conducting for years, and these are the past students who have requested such beautiful images. Here you can see the entire terrain of lands as well as the frozen mountains and snow. This is part of the Ukraine. This is a city in the Ukraine which was requested by a student. And how this is going to help, I'll show you another example. Now, this is another example of Argentina. So this actually helps geologists and meteorologists to actually study as well. The future prospect is that people or students can do investigation themselves. Let's say if you requested a picture of a location, let's say a mountain range. Now you want to study what kind of mountain range it is and what kind of different activities are possible in that environment. So if you further study in the geography aspect of it, you can actually conduct research using those images. So this is one huge application of it. Now I'll show you a comparison of the EarthkAM images and the Google images. We've all used Google images, right? Now I'll show you how different Google images are from the EarthkAM image. Yeah, it's in front of you now. But can you see the distinction? Which one is more clear and which one is telling you more details?
Sir,
The Earth images.
EarthkAM, yes. So Google Images are not able to capture every detail of the location they are taking pictures of, while EarthkAM is much more advanced and it can help you give a lot of information. Here's another example of that. Now you see in this part of the EarthkAM image, these are actually mountains. While when you see in the Google Images is barely able to tell you that these are mountains, right? It looks like a dried river or just some depressions in the soil, right? But actually these are mountains. So if I'm just looking at the Google Images, I won't be able to tell what kind of geographical description it is having. Meanwhile, if I have the same image from the EarthkAM or the camera from the ISS, I can actually derive much more details. So you got an idea how different Google images are from the EarthkAM images. So this is another example. Google Images is just telling you that this is just barren land. It looks like a desert, right? Whereas when you see the EarthkAM image of the same location, it tells you that there's much more different types of geographical aspects to it. So these basically are lakes. These two are lakes, and you can see there are some green areas as well and some brown areas as well. While in Google Images, you are barely able to differentiate between any part. So since it has been going on for more than 3 decades, a lot of media has captured these initiatives as well. And there are a lot of students who are able to derive and capture really high definition images. It actually helps scientists as well in more than one ways. And then they often get media coverage as well. So maybe one of you will be in news tomorrow or day after if you are able to generate a really good image that can actually help science and scientists, right? So now what we are going to do is, since we understood what EarthkAM basically is and what Dr. Sally Ride had the vision of, now I'll walk you through how we are going to request the images. So before that, if you have any doubts so far, you can ask me. Okay, Nakul has asked, can't we get, sorry, just a moment. So Nakul has asked, can't we get these images from Google Earth? So Nakul, I think that differentiation has actually answered your question. Yeah, okay. So if anyone has any questions so far, you can ask.
sir, is the lens different? What is the main difference between the pictures, sir? We can see it is more detailed. Is
Yes.
the lens different or?
Is
What
the
kind
lens
of-
different? Yes. Lens is different. So basically, in the EarthkAM or the ISS that we are having the camera, it is just a DSLR. It is Nikon D2X DSLR, and it has been placed since 2011. So that camera, Nikon D2X DSLR, is actually connected with a Lenovo laptop, and that is how the image is captured and it is sent to the NASA station, and then it is further processed and sent or uploaded to the website. So yes, there is a difference between the cameras.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can we take? Can we have a picture of our school?
Okay, so that is very good question and very important question. So the answer to that is the camera on the ISS does not capture man-made areas or man-made monuments. Let's say if you want to capture Taj Mahal or Great Wall of China, for example. So the camera will not capture those kind of objects. It is only capturing the natural geographical areas that are there by the Earth. Okay, so let's say you are trying to capture a mountain range. Let's say if you want to capture the Himalayas, so camera will be able to capture those, but not the man-made monuments.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
What if I ask the camera to take a picture of Area 51? Would it be able to take it or not?
So Area 51 is just a geographical location, or if there is some man-made buildings or some kind of secluded area is there, it won't be able to capture that. So it will just give you the landscape of it, just the geographical land that actually there was before any human involvement.
Sir, why not?
Why not? It's because with time man-made engagement is evolving and changing. Let's say I build a school near my home, and next year I dismantle it and I make something else, right? So one factor is that because of human involvement, I am updating and changing my landscape a lot. I am building one thing and tomorrow I'm destroying it and creating another building out of it. So that basically confuses the entire process, because for research purposes, let's say if I want to understand the geography of a location, I want to understand the entire geographical aspect, in the sense that throughout the years only the natural processes that are happening is affecting that area, and that is what actually helped me understand the process of it. So human involvement in these kind of events is basically excluded and avoided, because it creates a lot of confusion, and it what can I say, it actually holds back the scientific progress out of it. So that is why it has been designed in a way that anything that has human involvement in it, such as human manufactured something or created a building or something, so it avoids those kind of events.
So it is not a freshly taken photo.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, you can type your questions and you can ask one by one.
May I ask?
Yes, yes.
Sir, if ISS is on the North Pole, sir, can it capture the picture of South Pole?
Can it capture the picture of the South Pole? Okay, you answer me this question. If you are standing at the North Pole, will you be able to see South Pole?
So no, but
So ISS basically what is doing is you put a request of
It
any
is
location.
based on the different timelines.
Different timelines, not exactly. So basically when ISS is over that location on which you want the image, only then it will be able to capture the image. So when let's say if I am saying I want a picture of the Nile River in Egypt. So when I put a request right now that I want a picture of the Nile River from the Egypt. So when ISS will be on top of Egypt across Nile River, only then it will be able to capture the image. So it will not be like I have put a request right now and instantly it will go and capture the image of Nile River. No. So when the ISS is over that object, over that location, only then it will be able to capture. Is it clear?
So,
Yes.
so can it capture tunnels?
Can it capture tunnels? Tunnels are man-made, so no. But you can
Excuse me,
give
sir.
it. Yeah.
So the lens used in ISS, it is continuously changing or it is used since it manufactured?
Yeah, so that lens has been used since I think 2011. So ever since the same equipment is being used.
Can we request the picture of Mariana Trench?
Sorry?
Sir, can we request the picture of Mariana Trench?
Mariana Trench, yes, but it depends how detailed of an image it can actually produce, right? So you'll be getting codes if you have not received by now. So you can put your request that, okay, I want Mariana Trench. So you can, when the ISS is over that location, then you can put, okay, that I want the image of this specific location, let's say Mariana Trench, and then you can put your request and see how the image produces.
Sir,
Yes.
Can we
sir, can it
find
capture
the image of Bermuda Triangle on the ISS image?
So, is Bermuda Triangle having a specific landmark, or is it like, is it having a boundary, or the boundary is imaginary?
So it's imaginary.
It's imaginary, right? So you can definitely try capturing it. You see when the ISS is going to be over the Bermuda Triangle, and then you can request for the image. Why not? You can definitely try that.
sir, can it capture an image of a canal? Canal matlab like
Yes. Yes.
is a
The Suez
man-made
Canal. You want the Suez Canal, right? So Suez Canal is, so these canals are basically natural more than human, involvement. So we as humans are using them for the shipment, right? For the working of the ships and taking cargo from one place to the another. But they have been, majority of them have been built naturally. So you can definitely try putting that coordinate and see if the image is produced or not.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Sir,
Yeah. Yes.
sir, I want to ask that how they know that we have this picture and how will they
Yes,
capture
yes.
it?
I will tell you. So the next part is all of that. Okay. So I really want all of you to pay attention to what we are going to learn now, because it is a step-by-step process, and you will be given a entire PDF file for this, because you will not be able to retain all of the steps instantly. And what I'll do is, you will the PDFs will be shared with you, and you can read through them and go through them and see how we are going to actually request for the images. So now I'll give you a tutorial how and
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Sir, how can we determine that from which angle the pictures are being taken?
which angle. Did you see
Yeah.
the video? The video in
Sir,
the
I
PPT
did
that
not
was
catch
placed?
that.
Okay. Okay. So basically, the camera is placed at the window which is pointed towards the Earth at the ISS. Okay. So it is always from the zenith position, or the topmost position. When the ISS is floating around the Earth, the window is placed in the direction towards the Earth, and the camera is right behind the window. So it is always from the top.
Okay, so basically it's a top view of what we need.
Yes, yes, it's going to be the top view.
Sir, if
Okay.
multiple users ask for a same request to take a photo
Yes,
from different locations, how will
yes. Yeah, so it's a very good question that a lot of people may request for one specific location only. So how to distinguish about it, right? So that depends on your code. That is why there is a unique code that is associated with your image requisition. So when you request for an image, you will have a different code than the other person who is requesting the same image. Moreover, you have to write a short description about the image, that why do you want to capture the image of this specific location only. So that is why you have to put a small description which will be close to you, or you can actually see that, okay, this is the description that I have put. So it would be easier for you to get the image that, yes, this is my image. Okay.
Sir, so will it capture a place like the Palm Jumeirah?
Sorry.
Will it capture a place like Palm Jumeirah?
It might, if as long as it is naturally there without the human involvement. Yes, you can. You can capture cities, as I showed you before, right? There were pictures of the cities as well. There was a city from Ukraine where you can actually see human settlement, as well as the fields and the river as well. So you will be able to capture, but when you are focusing on one specific man-made monument, then it won't be possible.
Okay.
Can it capture the pyramids?
Human pyramids, again, these are man-made constructs, right? So that won't be that easy to capture them. And because I haven't tried myself, so it would be quite difficult to capture that image. So basically what you can do is, you can capture the Nile River as well as the desert nearby. That would like the most high quality image that you will be able to get of that location.
Sir, but I think pyramid is tall enough to be captured by
No, it's
that.
not. It's not about the tall or the height or the depth of the image, but it's about the again the man-made construct. Because if you see that Great Wall of China is so huge, right? It has a long length. That might be visible from the ISS as well if I point the camera towards it. But that's not how it is being functioned. Okay.
Sir, so that
Yeah.
sir, can it be possible in the case of Burj Khalifa and such buildings, like because they have such towers, like so they
Huge,
can be
huge
seen.
towers. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they
So
can be seen, but they won't be captured. That's the main point. You can see everything you want to, but it won't be able to capture it properly. Okay. So now
Excuse me,
all
sir.
the yeah,
Excuse me, sir.
The ISS has
yes.
an orbit, so how can we
Sir,
capture
are we
the
able to
images
take the
of?
pictures of the islands?
Can you take the picture of the islands? Yes, definitely.
Okay, sir.
But the
Excuse
ISS
me.
has a specified orbit, so how does it capture the images of the location that are far from its orbit?
Yeah, so that's what I was explaining, that ISS has to be over that location. And when it is over that location, it will capture then. So as I was giving the example that I want to take a picture of Nile River in Egypt. So I'll put my request here. So when ISS is over the Nile River in Egypt, it will capture it then. So the ISS is not capturing right away. When the ISS is over that location, on top of that location, in its orbit, only then it will be able to capture it. So
So
now
like
I'll
if
show you. Yes,
if the
yes.
orbit of the ISS is near the equator and I want an image of the like the North Pole or the South Pole,
Hmm.
will it change the
You won't
orbit
be
or
able to
like
do
it
that.
will?
No, you won't be able to capture it while you
Excuse
are
me.
at equator. Yes, yes.
Yeah, in just to add to that, I have participated in this before. So basically, to all the people who have a question, can I take a picture of this and that? You can't really take a picture of anything you want. The ISS has a fixed orbit. You can only take pictures on that orbit. You can't take
Yeah.
pictures of North Pole or South Pole. The ISS does not go over there. You can't take pictures of like the palm, whatever you want. It's a fixed orbit. So only like on a single line or a few lines, only there you can take pictures, not the entire globe. And obviously you
Right,
can
that
take
makes
pictures of
sense.
developed countries and all that, such as America, because you can't really expose things of America and all those things. So most probably we'll just be able to take pictures of Africa or something.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kedar. Okay. So now if there are more questions, I will take them after the session. And now I'll show you how to go to the website and where to put the requests. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to follow these process very devotedly, and you have to note down all the information that you are going to put while you are requesting an image of a location. And once the codes are shared with you, you will be able to use them using the user guide as well as this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing is basically we go to it's better to use the Google Chrome itself. So once we go to the Google Chrome, I hope it is visible. So we just type Sally Ride EarthkAM. This is the first link, which is basically the website, the www.earthkam.org. And once you go to this website, this is the home page or the main page of the website. Here you can see that the mission 82 is going on. So this is the 82nd mission of this EarthkAM project that is being conducted from February 14th to 17th. But you have to understand this very clearly, that you have till the 16th morning. Although it says that February 17th here, but the codes that we have provided you, or the ones that you will receive from us, will be valid till February 16th. So you have to put your request well before February 16th. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So now what you have to do is we'll go to the login part of it. There are other sections as well. As we just saw that there's this images section where you can go through and see the images. So this is the entire gallery where all the previous photos are there. And if you want to explore about the website, you are more than welcome to do that. In about section, you will actually understand or get to know more about what Salaried EarthkAM is and how each party or each institution functions. And majorly what we are going to do is we basically go to the login section. So there are two logins, mission and teacher. We don't have anything to do with teacher login. So what you have to do is mission login, and we have username and password for it. So the username and password for mission login, I will share with you by the end of this presentation. So what you can do is, rather than working simultaneously right now, just listen and follow through the steps. And after the presentation, spend as much time as you want to with the website, and then you can put your request. Okay. So what the username is, so username basically is space CS, and the password is EarthkAM6. This will be given to you. And if you want to note it down right now, you can. So the username is space CS and the password is EarthkAM6. 6 as a number. So once I go to the login part, this will direct you to the website that it says that, okay, you've logged in now. Now what we are going to see is this page, and this is the website of the Mission Operations Center, which is at the US Space and Rocket Agency. Yes.
But can we know the password again, sir?
Password is EarthkAM6. EarthkAM6.
Say E capital. Okay, sir.
No. All small.
Something small. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the welcome page.
The username is
Space
CS, right,
CS.
sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay, so once we've come to this welcome page, there you see there are a lot of sub options as well. We'll go to them later. But what you have to do is you have to scroll down, and here you see there's a table. So this table is basically telling you about the current orbit of the ISS, the next orbit deadline of the ISS, and orbits with the same deadline. So what basically means is that this number, the leftmost column, is basically the orbit number that ISS is currently. Yes.
What is the username? Can you repeat?
I'll type it in the chat box. Wait. Space CS is the username, and password is EarthkAM. I hope it's there. It's visible in the chat box, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what we have to focus on, and this is a very important part, so pay attention. So what we have to focus on is the orbit number. So currently what we see is that this is colored in almost pink. So what this row is telling you is that it is the next orbit deadline, which means that the orbit number 2278, which is the ISS orbit, is having the deadline at this time. So it's 1419 of the 045. Now what this number is basically telling you is that 045 slash 141900. So 045 is the 45th day of the year. Okay. So this 045, or the number on the left side of this dash or slash, is basically the 45th day or the day number of that year. So this is the 45th day. Today is the 45th day of the year, 14th Feb. And the deadline, the current orbit of the ISS is having the deadline today at this time, which is around 2:19 p.m. Right? So we are all aware of the 24-hour system of the clock. Yes. So 1419 is 2:19 p.m. So if you make a request right now, so the orbit where it is having the deadline of 1419 2:19 p.m. So you have to put an image request before this time, and any location over which the ISS is will be able to capture the image. So what we have to focus on is that we usually do not put the orbit number that is the deadline. We take the orbit number which is next to the deadline, because what happens is that if I'm using this orbit which is approaching its deadline, if I use the orbit number 2278, what would happen is that I put my all the details and information, and I'm requesting the ISS in this orbit to capture the image. Time might run out, or there is some other technical issue that I'm not able to put the request completely or successfully. So then the ISS will be gone, and that orbit is completed, now then what would happen? So that could actually mean that your code will expire, or the ISS will not be able to successfully generate your image. That is why we prefer that whatever the deadline orbit is, we take the next orbit from it. So you see the next orbit 2279 is going to have a deadline today at 3:52 p.m. So you have a lot of time till then to actually put the request for the image. So are we clear which orbit we are going to select?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so this basically tells
Sir,
you
sir,
the
can you
entire,
please repeat it?
sorry.
Sir, can you repeat it, sir?
Okay, so to repeat it, what I'm saying is that we do not select the next orbit deadline, which is this one, the one colored in pink. So we will not pick this orbit. We will pick the orbit which is next to it, so that we have ample time to see, we have enough time to see where the ISS is going to be on in that orbit. And then we can actually see the time on which or at which it is going to complete its path, which is 3:52 p.m. Okay, so we will have enough time to basically request the image in that orbit. So everyone
Okay,
note
sir.
down this orbit 2279.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, note it down, please. Okay, so once you've done this, we got an idea that, okay, this is the path or the orbit number that we are going to select. Now how can we see that where this orbit is going to be on our Earth, right? Like on which part of the Earth is it going to orbit? So for that, we go to this next section, which is the image request. And once you go this, you will have the step 1, right? Select an orbit range to display. So what was the number that we are aiming at? What was the orbit number?
2279.
2279.
2279. So it falls in this range, the first one. Yes, it's the first one is ranging from 2278 to 2282. So ours lie in this section. So once I click on this, it will show us these orbits. So are you able to see 5 different orbits?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you can also see the numbers. So which one are we aiming for? 2279. Yes.
279.
Yes,
So
Yes.
sir.
now you see that the 2279 is having the orbit like this. And what these red and blue lines are depicting, they're
TK,
basic.
sir.
Yes. So the red line is basically depicting the daytime and the blue line is depicting the nighttime. So here you see that the 2279 will be having or is having the daytime till here. So when it comes from Canada all across the Atlantic Ocean and while it goes to the south of the Africa, what is happening is that it will float or go through these areas during the daytime. And while it comes towards the east, that time will be the night time. So one important thing is that when you are trying to capture an image of a location, you should always aim for the location during the daytime and not the night time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So whichever orbit you are selecting, you have to select a location which is near the daytime, because only then you'll be able to capture and see the light, right? If I'm selecting any area over which the ISS is going at night, how will ISS will be able to capture the image of the location during night? Because there will be no light to show you, right?
So I have a doubt.
Yes.
Sir, do we have to only select the orbit 2279 or we can select any orbit before 16 February?
You can select anyone. It's just that because the sooner you do it, you will have more options. You will have more orbits to select from, right? And so you will be given 2 codes. So what you can do is you can say that, okay, first one you can try with, for example, 2280, and then you can try for like 15th evening. So tomorrow evening you can open the website again and you see that which are the locations which are having the daytime of this orbit. So you can select that orbit as well. It's up to you. So the thing is that this window is open till 17th or the 16th Feb early morning. So do this project as soon as possible. Okay. For both of your images. And because you want to get certificates as well, so you should be taking 2 pictures when you receive the codes and you have to write down all the details of those images. Okay.
Okay, so sir, we cannot take more than 2 pictures.
I think because every student will be receiving 2 codes and it requires 1 unique code for each image. So you will, are limited, sadly, for 2 images only. Okay. And what you can do is, let's say if I'm selecting the orbit number 2279. So I'll go to the satellite and I'll put the labels on to actually look for locations. And then I'll zoom in on the map and I'll see where my 2279 orbit is. I think it was which one? Yeah, the second one. So this is the 2279 orbit. Now you can see it is going through Canada as well as US. So let's say if I want to go and get an image of some location like this. Okay. Let's say I want to capture this image. So what you can do is you can simply click on that location, and what it will do is it will give you a black line. Are you able to see the black line?
Yes.
Wait,
No,
let me
sir.
zoom. Are you able to see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what this basically is doing is that it is telling you how far that location is from the exact orbit of the ISS. So this red line is the orbit of the International Space Station, and I've selected this location, which is near the Kennebunk port, and it is telling you how far this location is from the exact orbit of the ISS. And one thing to notice here is that the closer you are to the ISS orbit, the better picture you will be able to get. Okay. So the minimum or the maximum range that you can aim for is basically 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers away from the red line in either upward or the downward direction, it should be the maximum range. You shouldn't go or select a location beyond 50 kilometers up or down. Am I clear about that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when I scroll down and I've selected this location, just a minute. So what it is telling me is that the location that I've selected is having a latitude of 43.34 and degree north, and it is having a longitude of 70.48 degree west, right? And it is also telling me the distance from ground track. So ground track is basically the path of the ISS, the red line. And it is telling me that it is 6 miles or almost 10 kilometers from the ISS, which is good enough between the 50-kilometer range. So the more or the closer you are to the ISS orbit, the better chances are to receive a better image. Okay. Now this is very important section, which is the image request info. So when you've selected a location, you have to note down all of this information. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll note down my location that I've selected. And you have to do the same when you are selecting your images. Okay, or whatever location that you are selecting, you have to write down these values. Okay, so now I've written down my information, and now I'll click on request image. So this pop-up will come. You do not have to change the mission. It is telling you this ISS 2302 is basically the mission name. So this is happening in 2023. It is happening in the month of February. So that is why it is named as such. Now it will ask for a code word. So I have my unique code word that I'm going to put in. And similarly, when you will receive your code words, you have to put one code word for one image. Okay, and it is unique. So one code can be used only once. You cannot use your code twice. Okay, so now I will put my code and I'll go submit. So once I've submitted, and if the code is correct, it will give me this notification which says code word accepted. Please make your request. Okay, now it is again asking me all the information. So now I have to put all the details that I've noted down. Yes.
Sir, I want to click a photo of Iceland, but the orbit does not come near Iceland anytime. Sir, what's that?
Okay, so then you have to go through the entire list and see which orbit number is going near the Iceland, because this is the limitation of the project itself, that only the locations through which ISS is passing through, only those locations will be able to get their images captured. Okay, so then you have to do a little more research and see if there is any orbit that is flying through those regions. Then you can select that orbit number, and then you can request for an image. But then again, you have to see if it is happening between 14th to 16th February only, because after that, then the image requisition will stop, and then it will open again somewhere in summer. Okay. And if it is not there, then sadly you cannot take the image. You have to look for another location. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to copy and paste all the images, all the information that are there in this section. It is 43.27 and this is 70.55. Okay, so here you can see the latitude and longitude here have slightly different values from these two. So these are very slight because the map has its own framework of lat and long. Meanwhile, while I'm locating it, and the archive or the database that it has been worked upon has a different value. So that's why it is a minute difference. Okay. And now what is the location?
Sir, in longitude, you have to put west.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. So it's west and latitude is degree north. Now this is location and I'll put the name, which is just giving me a nearest city of it, and the reason and description. So now you have to make it very unique for yourself, that why do you want to capture it, so that it would be easy for you to remember and filter out that, okay, this is my image. So now what shall I put? That, okay, I want to see a port city. That is my reason that why I'm selecting this region, and I'll just put the submit. Okay, so now it says success, photo request accepted. You may continue to request photos. So that means that my image requisition has been completed. And now if I have another code, I can actually look for other location as well. Or if I want to capture again the same location, I can use that. So now this is how you're going to, yes.
Sir, if like the space organization is sending me code, and
Yes.
if I need code some
More,
another
if you
time,
need more codes.
Yes.
Do you need more codes or at some other time?
So another time, so that's why, how can I get codes?
Okay, so as I was saying that this event is open till 16th Feb early morning only. So this kind of program, especially EarthkAM program, is opened 4 times a year, 4 times in 1 year. And they have a very specific date that, so this time it is from 14th to 17th February. Okay, so you have to request for the codes and you have to use your codes in that time only. The sooner you do, the better you will be having more options to select your orbits from. Okay.
So through which we will receive the codes?
Sorry?
Through which we will receive the codes?
I think your school will be provided and your school will be giving you the codes. Your schools will be giving you the codes. Yes.
Okay, sir, is this first time of this year that
Yes.
EarthkAM is happening? So
Yes.
The next time, like in summer break, it would happen probably. For it, how I will get codes?
Okay, so for that, Space India will be conducting this program again. So you can receive, so your school can receive from us as well, or otherwise your school can directly request for it as well. So there's this option of logging in.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So can we request for an image from an orbit which will come 6 months later?
Which will come 6 months later. Yes, you can put the requisition for that, but it has to be during, the requisition has to be made during the EarthkAM season only. So all the dates that are open, let's say, so today 14th and 17th. So if you put a requisition today, you can definitely put the request, but then that image will be processed and will come to you after 6 or 7 months only. So if you are willing to wait and see, you can definitely try that.
Sir, how many
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So where can we receive the images?
Yes, I'm coming to that only. So now are we clear how we are going to image the request? Sorry,
Yes,
request
sir.
the image. Are we clear about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now once I've made the request, how can I know that, okay, my request has been accepted and it has been submitted. So for that, you have to come to this option, which is the view request. Okay. Before that, I want to mention a very important point, which is the weather section. Okay. Now I want to capture the image of a place and I want to know, because I have to be sure that the weather of that location is normal, is good enough for an image to be captured. I don't want clouds to be there or rains to be there while I'm aiming for a location, right? So for that, what you can do is you can either look for the weather section in this web page, or you can just go to the Google and put the name or the latitude and longitude of that place in Google and see that the weather is clear on this day, this date or not. Okay. So weather factor is very important as much as the image, the range from the red line in the maps, which is around 50 kilometers. So now once I've made my requisition, I want to know whether my request has been submitted or not. What I'll do is I will go to this view request section. Okay. So now in view request section, here I can see it will show you the recent one. If you have only one, it will show you just one. Okay. And what I'll do is it will tell you the recent one and the time at which it was made, the request at which was made. So here you can see that this is the one which I have put, because you remember I put the name of the port, which is Kennebunk port. Yes, right. So here you can see this is the time at which I have made the request, and this is the status of my request, which is submitted. Now what will happen is when when a request is made, it goes to the NASA center and it goes to the ISS. The ISS, when it will be over this place, it will capture the image, it will send it back to NASA, and then NASA will upload it on the website. So this usually takes 5 to 7 days. Okay. So what you have to do is, once you've seen that, okay, your request has been submitted, what you have to say is you have to note down that, okay, after 5 to 7 days, I will come back to the website and then I will see that is my request, is my photo captured yet or not? Has it been uploaded on the website or not? Now, how can I see this? For that, you have to again log in and come to the view request section and go to this advanced search. Okay. You have to come to the advanced search and then you have to put the code word which you have been given, which you have used for that image. That is why it is very important to remember the code word that you are using for that specific image. So I've used this code word and I'll click the search button. So now once I've clicked the search button, it will give me the exact file that, okay, this is the file that I have trying to, or this is the location that I'm trying to capture. And once the image is there, once the image is being uploaded on the website after 5 to 7 days, this status that you are seeing now, it is showing you submitted. And once the image is here, it will become taken and it will be written taken instead of submitted, and that taken will be in a link. So when you click that link taken, it will take you directly to the image and you can download your image from that. Okay. So this is basically how we are working with NASA and the ISS about requesting our image. So this was all about the EarthkAM project, and I hope it was easy for you to understand. And even if it is not, I will share a few, the documents will be shared with you. So these are the documents that are there that will be shared with you. Okay. And you can go through them and it will have this user guide that is there. It has the step-by-step process. So you can, after this session, you can go through the user guide and you can follow the steps and you'll be able to request your images once you receive the code words. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is you will also be receiving a mail which is having this target sheet. Now, this is very important for you because if you want to receive your certificates for participating in this project, you have to fill it out with like accurate information that you have been noting down about the locations and images. Only then you will be able to receive your certificates. Okay. And then you have to send this Google form, this target sheet by 16th itself. Okay. So you have to put your request on the website, EarthkAM website. You have to request your images by 16th Feb itself. And this target sheet also needs to be filled and submitted by 16th February. Okay. So now I'll quickly make you go through about this Google Sheet. So this is basically asking you all the information that you have acquired. So now your name, your email ID, and which program you are associated with Space India, either you are iAstronomer or club or workshop or UITS. And then username and password, which I put it in the chat, it will be there. Okay. So now let me give you an example that I'll put my name and I'll put my email ID with it. Let's say I'm a member of the club and the username was space CS and the password was EarthkAM6. And then when you go to the next slide.
Sir, the target sheet link will be sent in the mail, sir.
Yes, yes, it will be sent to you in a mail with a link. So you have to open that link and it will lead you to this Google form. Okay. Now, once I've put my details, you see, this is asking you about the code word.
Sir, that mail, when will it reach us, sir?
I think by the end of this session itself or after some time. Okay. So what happens is that when I enter my details, it will ask you about all the information that you have been noting down. Okay. So here you have to use the code word 1, which you used for your first image. You have to put it down and then you have to put the orbit number, which orbit number of ISS we are using. So we were using 2279. So I will put 2279 here. And if you are using some other orbit number, you will put that orbit number. That is why it is very important for you to write down all the orbit numbers as well as your codes.
Screenshot of the details?
Yes, yes, you can take a picture also. If you don't want to write down, you can take a screenshot or you can capture it from your phone. As long as you have all the information with you. Okay?
Sir?
And then, yes.
If we request a code now, the results will be only given after 6 to 7 months, right?
Sorry. Can you repeat?
If we request the code now, image, we will only receive the results after 6 to months, right?
No, it depends what or like which location and what orbit you are choosing. If you are selecting an orbit which is after like 6-7 months, of course you will receive the image after 6-7 months. But
how do we know that it's after
Sir,
6 to 7
the
months?
school will give us the code word, right?
Sorry?
The school will give us the code word.
Yes, yes, yes. You will receive from your school itself, from your schools itself. Okay. And if you, yeah, just a moment. If you want the to know the orbit, so you, as I was showing on the website, you have to go to the welcome page and you have to see the orbit number.
Yes, sir. Got that. Got that.
Yeah, no, someone was having doubts, so I'm just clearing her doubt. So if you want that, I want the image of like 15th, for example, for tomorrow's. So I'll open this list. I'll go to the status page and what it will show me, it will show me the upcoming orbits of the ISS and I can select the number of dates. Since this one is open till 48th date, which is till 17th or 18th. Yeah, so today is 14th, right? So 3 days from now. So till 17th only. So right now you are able to select from these orbits only. So this will give you the, let's say if I'm selecting 2325 orbit and it will have the deadline on 48th day, which is the 17th Feb at around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And if I'm using this information, of course, when this when ISS will be on this orbit, it will capture that image only. And if I go to this, it will show me this one. So let's say if I'm selecting my last orbit, I'll select this one and it will show me that, okay, on this day at this time, the orbit of ISS will be this. So if I'm putting a request on this date and time, of course, when ISS will be on this orbit at that time, it will be capturing the image then only. And then it will process and after 5 to 7 days, it will be uploaded on the website. So that is how you can. Yes.
Sir, can't we take the image of India or any other Asian country?
Country would be
It's
too
on
wide.
Right.
Yeah, yes, country would, because over India, what happens is most of the times the ISS is during the night time. So it would be quite difficult because India usually sees ISS from around 2 to 5 a.m. And that would be night time. And it would be quite difficult to capture India from, or like any part of
Excuse me,
India
sir.
from that time. Yes.
Sir, like if I want to click a picture from the, let's say, the last orbit. So, sir, how
Okay.
can I know the weather? What will be the weather at that or that time?
For that, yeah, just a minute. For that, what you have to do is you have to select that location. Okay, you note down the lat and long of of that place. You go to the Google and see what would be the weather, because weather gives you the approximate of around throughout the year itself. So that way you can actually get an idea that okay, whether it would be cloudy, rainy, or sunny or snowy. So you can use Google for that. Just put the
Excuse me,
lat and
sir.
long of that place. Yes.
Sir, will the target sheet and
Wait,
code
wait,
words be shared with us so that
yes,
we
yes,
can
yes.
search
It
for
will be.
the
It will be. It will be. Don't worry.
both of them?
Yes, yes,
Sir,
yes.
there are only limited orbits shown in this. Like,
Yes.
so we
Yeah.
can't
So
get an image from the orbit from 6 months later.
yeah. So because this is the only a limitation, because that's the thing. Now it is open for only 3 days only. So it will just give you the 3-day orbit. So when it will be open, when the project will open, let's say in summer. So for those 3-4 days, it will show you the orbits of those 3-4 days only, from where you can actually request the image.
Sir,
What amount of
I have a
will
question.
the orbit changes daily? That if I log in tomorrow,
Yes, yes. Yes, it's almost similar. As you can see, the similar pattern is there, but yes, there are some changes. Because you see, the Earth is itself is rotating at an angle, and ISS is rotating, revolving around it at a certain angle. So there are going to be changes about the orbit. Yes.
how much time ISS will take to click and send the image?
5 to 7 days. The moment you put a request, so like I've just shown you that I've put my request right now at 12:40, I think. So it will take me 5 to 7 days, and I will come back to the website after 5 to 7 days and see whether my image is uploaded or not. It's most of the times it
Excuse
is.
me, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, if our image is uploaded on the website, so like we can, how can we get it from the website?
Yeah. So you have to go to this view request session. Okay. View request section. Just a minute. Then you have to go to advanced search. Okay. Then you have to put the code word that you have used for that image. So since this is the code word that I have used for my image, I'll put search and it will give me this information. So if the image is uploaded, this submitted word will turn into taken, and that taken will be with a link. So you can click on this taken, it will lead you to the image and you can download it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now like just a few minutes are left. So now I'll take majority of the questions that are there. I hope you have understood the entire purpose of Sally Ride EarthkAM, and I hope it sounds exciting for you to go and explore and actually request NASA and ISS to capture images once you receive all the information that you require. So did you guys have fun?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We will be given the codes
Yes,
for the same.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me,
Okay.
sir.
So yes. So now I'll take questions. Just a minute. Yes.
Sir, we will be given the codes for the same.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, sir.
Sir, how many codes will we
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Two for each student.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, our teacher has the email ID of our teacher is submitted in the website. So we can copy the code from our teacher and write in our notebook, and then can we?
Yes, you can. You can. Because
Okay,
your
sir.
teachers will be providing you the codes themselves.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
By when will we receive our target sheets?
So target sheets will be sent to you by mails and along with all the PDFs that are there. So PDF involves the handout. It has information about Dr. Sally Ride, who she was and what was her research and aim was. And also the user guide will help you because all the process that I've just taken you through. So for majority of the students, it is not easy to retain what they've just learned. So to help you go through the website and request images yourself, we are also sending the PDFs for that. So you can go through that and they will be sent to you by mails by your teachers, because we will be sending it to your schools and then you'll be receiving them.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What will be the range of that red line, sir?
Sorry, range of the
Red line, red line.
Red line. So I was telling you that it's better to stay within the 50-kilometer range. If there's a red line going, so 50-kilometer above and 50-kilometer below. So
Sir,
any
how do we
location,
know that kilometers, sir?
it is in the website. So once you select a location and when you scroll down, there will be a distance from the ground mark. There is a section called where you can read the heading which says distance from the ground mark, and it will give you the distance in miles and kilometers. So that will tell you that, okay, you are these many kilometers away from the red line.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
sir, tomorrow we need to join this class?
No, no, no. You have taken this class. Now you know how to request for an image. Once you receive the codes, you just experiment and explore the website yourself. You put image requisition, and remember, main thing is that you have to note down all the details of the image request that you're putting, all the latitude and longitude, orbit number, time, orbit, right? And most importantly, the codes. So once you've written down for both of the images, so when you fill out the target sheet, you have to put all these details very carefully, and you have to submit them by 16th morning.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, so the target sheet would lead to the creation of a certificate.
Yes. In order to receive a certificate, you have to fill the target sheet completely and send it by 16th.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's about time where we part. I hope you kids had fun. Yes, 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 Ratneet. So if anyone is not having doubt, you can leave.
Can I get the picture of Aurora Borealis?
Can you get a picture of Aurora Borealis? That's an interesting question. Can we get an image of natural processes? I think it would be possible, because if I'm selecting a location and let's say if it is cloudy enough, so the clouds will hamper the image of that location itself. So I think it would be possible. I think for you, but then Aurora Borealis are usually around night time, right? So you won't be able to capture that very clearly, because ISS, when you try to request an image for ISS to capture something during the night, it becomes very difficult for the camera to capture the image. So I think it would be quite difficult. During the daytime, you don't usually see Borealis, right? So it would be quite difficult.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Right. So is anyone having any more question?
Sir.
Yes. Okay. No more questions? Okay. So are we equipped enough and excited enough to request images from the ISS ourselves?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Sir.
great. Yeah, that was very enthusiastic answer. Thank you so much. Okay. So I hope you guys had fun, and I am looking forward to see your images once you click them and upload them on the target sheet, and once you receive them, and maybe we'll see some of you in the news as well if you're able to get amazing pictures. So all the best, have fun, and
अच्छी नहीं आई